We are team number 15, and this is our solution. First of all, I want to start with some background about the product and its technology. It involves a chemical process, and the first step is the input. In this case, it could be agricultural production of sugarcane, beet, corn, among others. Then, a catalyst is used to accelerate the chemical process, and the output is ethanol that can be used 70% in gasoline, 20% in water, and 10% in gas. Thanks to the technology of eco-oil, we could develop two main competitive advantages. The first is the eco-fuel, which does not pollute the environment, which does not waste natural resources, and all these points may interest our customers in comparison with our competitors. The first specific advantage also implies to protect their patent, to develop our unique brand linked to the positive impact of the environment, and to invest in R&D to find new biomass materials at lower cost. The second competitive advantage is the size of the production, which can fit in one 40-foot container. In addition, containers can be placed not only with each other, but also on top of each other, which saves space and money. Also, a 40-foot container is standard for transportation, which greatly simplifies this component. This second specific advantage also implies to build economies of scale, expanding their operation to strengthen relationships with suppliers and to communicate their value propositions with no modifications in traditional engine vehicles. To deep dive in our first specific advantage, there are some actions we need to internalize in order to accomplish our plans. And these are decision-making for expansion plans, production process and patent, quality assurance, standardized key performance indicators, CapEx approvals, and communication and marketing campaign. And to deep dive in our second specific advantage, that is locations, the ideal solution will be to search for a location with extensive fields of sugar, beet, cane, and other biomass materials. We will consider the presence of transport hubs that can be used both for transportation of equipment and for the transportation of manufactured fuel. There are also some locations requirements, including countries willing to make the trade-off, maintaining a balance between food safety and energy manufacturing, no government restrictions to sell ethanol fuel in the market, and preferably to have government incentives or partnerships with state-owned fuel companies. And last but not least, to have a market for ethanol fuel. The main countries in these aspects are the United States, Brazil, China, Canada, among others countries in Europe. With all these implications in place, we came up with the following business model, and I'm only going to focus on three key aspects. The first of all is the key partners. These are going to be crucial to the success of the company. First, we need our suppliers that will be the farmers or agricultural manufacturers that will provide the raw materials. Second, the oil and gas companies that will be the key element in the success of our goals. Third, we need to stay close with the governments, getting all the permissions to work with compliance. Fourth, the investors that would allow us to make our dreams possible. And fifth, the advertising and marketing agencies helping us to create noise and awareness of our competitive advantages. I want to stop also on the value propositions. And in order to persuade our clients, we are going to leverage on our technology in our eco-fuel that doesn't pollute the environment. We have also an agile production that fits into a 40-foot container. And we have mobile units that allow us to have affordable production cost and with the technology to have economies of scale. The third key element of our business model I want to talk about is the customer relationship, in which we are going to focus on working with petrochemical companies that serve to the final fuel users. We will be their ethanol fuel supplier to cover their demand through a semi-exclusive contract, and having a markup of our marginal cost will be the way to get revenues. And to deep dive in our client and strategic partners, we want eco-oil to seek for 3 oil companies and negotiate a semi-exclusive contract for 5 years. We analyze the top oil and gas companies, and from this list, we propose 3 partners to seek for alliance. The first one is Royal Dutch Shell. They are the 3rd largest company in the world with presence in 70 countries. They have officially published their compromise with the environment and plan to become a net zero emissions company by 2050. The second company is Chevron. Highest returns, lower carbon is the main goal of the company. And they are constantly innovating and acquire new businesses so they could choose Eco Oil as a strategic partner. The third one is Total Energies. They have presence in 130 countries and they have innovation teams looking for processes that reduce the environmental damage, so Eco Oil is the right partner for them. In the first 5 years working with these three partners, it is planned to capture the most developed markets where people know that ethanol fuel is. The largest representatives are USA, Canada, China, and the European Union countries. Also, Russia will be just a giant consumer, but the production of ethanol in this country is limited by law, so this market remains closed. And after those 5 years, the company will cover as many as 4 continents, South and North America, Europe, and Asia. Now we get to the numbers. If we look at the revenues that our first partners get from gasoline, we see an opportunity of 276 billion euros a year. But our goal is going to be included in the 10% of their ethanol gasoline requirements because of our market limitations. This means that the opportunity is to produce 25.8 billion of liters in 1 year. To give some context, in one factory we can produce 25 million liters in a year, so we need 1,033 factories to achieve this commitment. With our economies of scale, we will need an investment of 356.4 million euros for the factories and 103 million for our working capital. In this final chart, we are going to see what does it implies and if it is profitable or not in order to convince you. So our raw material cost is going to be 11.7 million euros for a production unit. And if we divide this 11.7 by 25 million liters, we get our marginal cost of 0.47 euros by liter of gasoline. Then, if we look at the average price of gasoline around the world, that is 1.07 euros by liter, our marginal profit after taxes will be 0.12 euros. Now, if we multiply the marginal profit after tax by the number of liters a year, we get a profit of 3.1 billion euros. Minus our fixed cost of 560 million euros, we get a net profit of 2.6 billion euros by the first year of operations. This means an ROI of 569%. So, private equity partners who wants to join us in our dreams and make a sustainable world with us. Thank you.